Girls, how do you react when your husband or boyfriend eats what you left for yourself? Then he laughs at you because it makes you irritable and says this wonderful phrase. Are you really that stingy with me for the food? And you feel completely stunned at that moment. Just so you understand, last night I cried about this because I bought myself some sushi, put it in the fridge, and knew I'd eat it in the morning. At the same time, I made sure my husband wasn't hungry, he had something to eat. And he, knowing that these sushi were bought for me, for my breakfast, took them and ate them. This happens on a regular basis. Sometimes it's some tasty treat, sometimes something else. He always eats it when I leave it for myself. I'm infuriated by the very fact that I clearly tell someone not to touch my food, and they take it and do it on purpose. However, when I present this to him and tearfully beg, he turns the situation upside down and says, like, it's not my fault, I was hungry, there was nothing to eat, and that's why I took this. I know he had something to eat. He just took what was tastier. But when I was standing in the store and asked him if he would eat sushi, he said no, I wouldn't. I said, are you sure you won't? I definitely won't. And how do you judge this? This person, to put it bluntly, is spitting in my soul. Or he was just hungry, because I clearly favor the first option. This really offends me. I know this is a problem for many couples who live together, because they automatically think that if there's a treat in the fridge, even if it was bought by my girlfriend, I can still eat it because it's in my house, in my fridge. But you forget that there's another person living with you who also wants something. Yeah. My mom used to do this sometimes, especially when I was little. She'd walk over, see me eating, take a piece, and walk away, giggling at me. The result, I'm antsy and mostly eat alone. And if anyone takes my food or things, I'll freak out like crazy. And if someone asks me to try something, 90% of the time I give it to her without a problem and don't feel sick or uncomfortable. It's disgusting when people do that. Your husband is clearly to blame, but you're also at fault, however minor. Relationships shouldn't be yours, mine. Even if he says he doesn't want it, you can still buy it so he can eat it too. If he still doesn't want it, it won't be a problem to eat it for him. Another option is to buy him something else, but something equal. Then there won't be any splitting. It's just weird to buy something just for yourself. Yes, I understand this, girl. You know, no one likes it if you take his personal things, personal treats, drinks for fun or for fun. No one likes it and I don't like it either, damn. I'll send such an idiot out of here. I don't feel sorry for the food at all. Food is food, you can buy more. And my husband is of the same opinion. Making a fuss or getting offended over something like that is bullshit. If I save something for myself for the morning, and my husband eats it while I'm sleeping, he goes and buys it in the morning, without any questions. The man was hungry, so should I take his food away? And even if he had other food, just less tasty, I still wouldn't be upset with him. We basically have a rule that we leave each other what we like more. For example, if it's rolls, he prefers salmon, I prefer tuna. And no, we both love these two fish, but I'm always ready to sacrifice salmon for him, and he for me tuna. Simply because we like these fish more. Basically, for me, arguing over food is nonsense. It's just food. Wake up. In a world of food abundance, you don't know how to share food among yourselves. It's like kindergarten. I keep a bottle of beer in the fridge. It's my favorite kind, so I can drink it on random evenings, just when I want a beer and don't want to go to the store at all. My husband drank a couple of times, then confessed in the morning, saying, sorry, I really wanted one, I'll make it up to you. And then he'd buy the same one in the evening after work. Without reminders. It's easy enough to just say that I have this habit, that it's my thing, and it's important to me to have it. And no problem. We have problems with sweets. I don't like them and buy candy for my son, and sometimes my husband gets a sweet tooth in the evening, and he steals some. But I also see that the candy supply is running low, so I buy more. Or he'll buy more himself. No one will be left without sweets. It seems the problem is less than the author of the video claims. Although, if someone were constantly and deliberately gobbling up my favorite products and not buying new ones, I'd have to talk to them. Buy a special refrigerator with a chain and lock and hide the key in your underwear. This is unhealthy and you understand this. A loving person does not act like this, at least not on a regular basis. Well, I ate it and ate it. I don't really care. I eat his food too. I also have attacks of eating something in full size here and now, but then I stomp to the store and buy what I ate. My husband never touches the last piece of anything, and if I buy something for myself, or he brings me a treat, he won't touch it, even if I share it with him, he flatly refuses. And my ex ate all the best food without caring whether I ate it. Yes, he spits in your soul and is selfish, and this will last forever. Don't suffer, I left him. In this relationship, you will always be the mother. You have one adult in the family, and that is you. Believe me, there are normal men who act like men, not mama's boys. Honestly, this is the first time I've heard of such a thing. Mine, on the other hand, will tear it off and leave the best parts for me. Next time he buys himself something tasty, don't stand on the sidelines, come over and eat it, and if he says anything, say that there was nothing to eat. In short, we need to use their own strategy. My husband has the same problem. It happens that we buy something for 3 people, we have a child, no matter if it's a treat or some other food, and he takes and eats almost everything. Either by himself or by himself, leaving none for anyone, even though I always ask him to leave some for everyone. And he won't eat anything that tastes better than what he doesn't like. So, I make him go buy the same thing that same day or the next. Whether he has money or not, it doesn't matter. It was bought for everyone, enough for a couple of days. You eat one in 5 minutes, go buy some. It seems like this situation has become less common now. As an older sister with 2 younger sisters and a brother, I recommend this life hack. Stick a piece of paper or some tape on it and write, "Do not take." Then you won't have any excuses like, "Oh, I didn't realize that was allowed." Hide your food in a couple of bags and in a saucepan. If my husband buys something tasty, he buys more for both of us at once. He even knows that if I refuse at first, I'll change my mind later. We've never argued about anything like that. It's just stupid. The only time you can argue about food is if you're short on cash and it's the last meal in the house. If that's the case, what's the problem with buying it again, and this time? Especially to avoid future misunderstandings? I eat all my husband's treats. He leaves for work and forgets about the treats. And they lie there and say, "Eat me." Before I let them, the treats, do the talking. I call my husband and say, "Hey, this is the thing, your piece of cake is making me cringe." And generally, if you know your significant other won't eat, buy them whatever you eat anyway. And if they really won't eat it, you're lucky, you got twice as much. It will be more cunning. Then he'll switch to the child's treats. Unfortunately, that's not normal. If he forgot, ate and ran to place his order so as not to upset you, that's still normal. But what's happening to you is abuse. It seems he has a personality disorder. Your man is doing this on purpose. That's all. You don't need to live with someone like that. I had one similar situation, and it hasn't happened since. I made myself a salad for work and put the container in the fridge. My husband didn't want to eat what I had prepared. So he ate the salad while I was running to pick up the baby. Eventually, I asked him, "Was it tasty?" And he was like, "Yes," patting his stomach. And the key phrase that made him stop taking my container was, "Were the mushrooms cooked well?" I had my doubts while I was cooking. I also had to treat the girls at work. His eyes went blank at that moment, and he ran to his white friend for an emergency evacuation. He hates mushrooms. But now he won't touch anything I cook in containers. My husband can only eat half of the treats, or we buy 2 servings at once. If he's deliberately eating your food, even though you ask him not to, then just go ahead and eat his food. Well, of course there is a solution. I just bought a mini fridge. Previously, I had to insist that he go to the store half an hour before closing to get the missing ingredients. My husband might eat something of mine without knowing it. If he does, he'll apologize profusely and, if it's not too late, run out and buy the same thing and something else, a plus for me. In our family, no one deliberately eats other people's treats. The kids get their favorite sweets, and if one of them wants something that belongs to someone else, he offers to buy it back for money or exchange it. I don't understand because I don't keep treats for myself, and my husband and I eat what's in plain sight and don't care. But it would piss me off too. It's not about the food or the fact that he ate mine. It's about the attitude and disrespect. I'll screw you over and then grin at you to make you even angrier. It's just disgusting. In our family, no one buys just for themselves. We buy enough for everyone and have extra. Even if someone says they won't have it, it's better to buy it because they might want it later. And even if someone gobbles it all up, you can easily go to the store and buy more. Stores are everywhere these days. Fighting over food these days is complete nonsense, in my opinion. Perhaps he grew up without a sibling. I'm not entirely sure whether it's my upbringing or the fact that I have a younger brother. But unlike my husband, I have a clear understanding of what's left of someone else's food, even if it's sitting in the fridge for a long time. I always ask if I can have a piece of that, someone else's food before I eat it. To which my husband is always surprised, saying, "Why ask? Just eat it." What's surprising is that despite this, we've never had a situation where he ate anything tasty of mine. My ex-husband did it a little the opposite way. My chronic gastritis would flare up periodically, and I'd go on a strict diet. Knowing this, he'd bring home a bunch of unhealthy treats and say he bought them for me. Moreover, he had such outbursts of care, precisely when it was absolutely forbidden for me. It would all end in arguments. And it was my fault. I was such a bitch for not appreciating the care of a loving man. He'd put on innocent puppy dog eyes and say he just wanted to please his beloved wife, wanting the best. But that's just me, and there were many similar moments. He'd always do something crazy and then pass it off as caring. Our former mutual friends still think I'm the jerk in the relationship, the one who didn't appreciate his care. And he's a poor, unfortunate man. Everyone turned their backs on me, even my best friend, after I filed for divorce. That's one example of manipulation. I'm familiar with this situation, but it's not quite the same. When I ask if he wants to eat and he says no, it's 80% sure that he does, and I feed him even if he says no, because after a while, he starts looking for food. So it's like with children, if you buy something for one, buy it for the other too, otherwise you'll get into trouble. In the future, just get him the same things you get for yourself, because I've heard it said in texts, something tastier. So, it will always be his choice, just like it's your choice. And a girl won't choose something bad for herself, and men really trust our choices. The only thing we often fight about is food. Now, like in childhood, we only eat tasty treats together, and the same ones. Now we each buy doubles. We even order sushi for two. But one thing really irritates me. My husband eats everything quickly and then tries to take it from me. I was also driven crazy by this, even though I didn't have a boyfriend yet and I'm in no rush. I had enough of my brother, who literally devoured everything. And it's incredibly annoying when you go hungry, anticipating the moment you're about to eat something specific, something you've stashed away, not even in the shared fridge, but somewhere in your room, and he rummages through everything, comes in, and gobbles it up. And when I complained about it to my boyfriend, he also laughed and said it was the right thing to do and that he would have done the same. In my opinion, if you want to eat someone else's treat, you have to ask. In my first relationship, my boyfriend always took my chips, crackers, candy bars, etc. But now my boyfriend asks if I can eat it or not. But even if he or I take it without asking, we then buy each other what we ate. And I think that's normal. In my family, I usually eat my husband's treats. We don't have such problems in our family. There's a very simple solution to this problem. I taught my children to share treats among the whole family. For example, when my son was in first grade, we gave him candy at school. He took it home and cut it into 4 pieces, one for his sister, one for my husband, one for me, and one for himself. My husband yelled at me that it was rude and refused to eat it. I had to put my fist under his nose and force him to chew, explaining that it was a teaching moment. This was a long time ago. But now it's automatic. Every member of our family thinks not only about themselves but also about everyone else. It's offensive and unpleasant, but we girls also do it often, so it's also understandable for guys to be offended by their significant others stealing their food. It's the same with me. He eats his whole thing at once, but I don't. When I want to eat it, he's already eaten mine. I started hiding, so he also calls me a mouse. I hid Raffaello candies and the like on a very high shelf, which from a distance seemed empty. Then I opened the box and there were empty wrappers. Well, in general, it's a common joke for girls to eat something that a guy bought for himself. I've never seen a man throw a fit over this. If your husband is a chick, then buy him the same thing without asking. He'll eat it anyway.